As a little boy in South Wales, I had my first ride in a Land Rover, and then I was hooked on them completely, and they're now a part of my life. I came to Australia in 1965 without much money to my name. I started buying and selling Land Rover parts, and this is what it's grown to. Buying more and more parts and more Land Rovers enabled me to pursue my hobby to get more and more of these. So in due course, my hobby became my business, which became my hobby again. And everything that has a Land Rover name on it interests me in collecting. The collection would have probably overall nearly 500 pieces in it. Basically, they're in three different types now. There's the die-cast models, there are plastic models, and there are tin plate. This one here is a tin plate model, probably Japanese, going back to the early 70s. Who made it? I haven't an idea. What it's worth? Probably in the eye of the beholder. To replace it would be almost impossible. I bought Land Rovers in the airport at Johannesburg. I bought them up near the Mozambique border. I bought models in little roadside stalls in India. But they're super to find, super to find. These are some of the oldest ones that I have, and that would probably be the start of most collected Land Rovers. These are dinky toys. Although they're both identical, the model, you may see that the writing of Mersey Tunnel on this and Mersey Tunnel on there is slightly different size. So to the real aficionado, they would be separate and different models because they're old ones. But the rarest one I have is this one. This is a model of the centre steer Land Rover prototype made in 1948. Its collectability would probably be the piece de resistance of Land Rovers. It's almost impossible to get one. It could be worth hundreds and hundreds to the person that wants it. My most mysterious model is this one. I bought 25 years ago in Queensland. It's a model that has nothing on it at all, no name, no information whatsoever. 20 years later I went back, the shop had shut, and nobody in the vicinity could remember it at all. It's a mystery to me. In the old days, when I'm talking the old days, that's the early 70s, when Land Rovers were predominantly the four-wheel drive, if you had one of these vehicles, you tended to wave to one another and get to know one another, and in due course clubs were formed, friendships formed, and I would have to say now, after 40 years of being involved with Land Rovers, most of my friends now started as friends casually with Land Rovers.